Lemkin Solitaire and Equalizer seeders and planters offer disruptive innovation like vertical banding, dry and/or liquid onboard fertilizer, and great prices. Go to lemkindemo.com for more information and to request a demo.
Bernard Tobin here at Commodity Classic in Denver, Colorado. I'm over at Bayer now talking with agronomist Andrew Penney. Andrew, how's it going? How's the show?
Oh man, wonderful. There's not a better show that showcase technology, different ways and things that growers can try. So it's always fun to be here.
Yeah, Andrew, I want to talk about new technology, and that is Bayer's Preceon short corn system. A lot of talk, a lot of buzz, and just want to talk to you about the system in general and look at some of the objectives and what might growers see when they walk into one of these fields. Let's start there. I mean, how short is the short corn?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So we have a target plant height of 6 to 7 feet. And just like, we're releasing a number of different products, and just like normal corn, we have differences in height. And so planting date, we have different environmental conditions that can impact the final height. Planting date can impact it, but we do have some short corn hybrids that will go up to 8 to 9 feet. But our target is 6 to 7, and then Mother Nature impacts the rest.
Yeah. 6 to 7, 8 feet high corn. That looks like a lot smaller plant. Got to have some big applications here for residue management.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, residue management has kind of dominated the conversation, whether we're talking short corn or tall corn. And so the more we start understanding the impact of residue, it's going to be a very common conversation as we continue to increase yields. I tell growers, for every bushel of corn we raise, residue goes up roughly 44 pounds. And so if in the last 3 years I've seen yields go up anywhere from 10 to 50 bushel. So even at 10 bushel, we have roughly just shy of 500 pounds more residue in that acre of ground. So looking at short corn and how we're going to manage and make recommendations based on population, we're going to have to start thinking about residue management as we push yields, but also as we start talking about short corn. And there's not great differences. We've done a lot of internal research looking at the impact of residue management as we increase populations. But we've learned that looking at how a combine handles the corn plant going through the combine head. Looking at residue and tillage practices, not a big difference in residue management in short corn versus tall corn.
So much to talk about. I know you're looking at things like greensnap and lodging, a lot of agronomic traits. What about those two, for example? And maybe you mentioned seeding rate. Are we going up a little bit? What's the story?
Yeah, we are. No, that's a really good question. I think the big benefit of short corn right now, obviously, is the protection from wind, right? But I think it's really bigger than that. It's really helping growers, agronomists, consultants enter into this new era of high yield management. And whether it's short corn or tall corn, we're seeing higher yields. And with that, the one thing I like to tell growers, we can't keep doing the same things when we were getting 225 bushel if we're expecting 300 bushel. So the short corn system really allows us to take advantage of some of these higher yield, higher yielding management practices that growers can do to help achieve those yields. And but first and foremost, the big important piece of this is the protection from wind. And we had the derecho in 2020 that went through Iowa and Illinois and impacted thousands of acres, many growers. And so just the protection from wind alone is a huge advantage of the short corn system. But when we start talking additional management, increasing the return on investment of your nutrients, of your a well-timed fungicide application, all that stuff helps drive yield and also helps reduce the impact for nutrient loss, helps drive the return on investment for those nutrients that those growers purchase every year, and makes it more efficient. And so really looking forward to continuing these conversations with growers about how can we increase ROI on your farm, but also how can we drive yield.
Let's talk about yield. I see a smaller plant, I see a smaller engine, and people say, how do you manage genetics, and what type of genetics do you need to sort of power big yields in a smaller plant?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We get a lot of questions, if we're going to push yields, do we need to increase nutrient use? And so, I kind of tell growers, if you're okay with your yields where they're at now, keep doing what you're doing. If you want to increase and push yields, we're going to have to increase nutrient use. And so I think the common, part of the conversation is now the products we're using now are selective breeding. And so we have a genetically modified in a biotech trait coming out in 2 to 3 years that we're going to be able to really control plant height. And so right now, again, it's selective breeding. So we've identified the genes in the plant hormones associated with reducing ear height, reducing the internode length below the ear. And so as we move forward and continue into this, the biotech trait, we're going to be able to control that ear height and plant height a little bit more. So we're really looking forward to bringing that out in the market here in 2 to 3 years.
I was going to say, final question for you is the timeline. I know you, the plots are out there, the genetics are being looked at. Take us through, I guess the years ahead here, when we might see commercial launch. I know that's, you don't want to put a stake in the ground, but where are you?
That's a good question. So 2025 will be the 3rd year that we've launched the Groundbreakers launch for short corn. And so what we've done is we've kind of chosen dealers and growers that we want to work with, that think progressively, that want to try these new management practices, really want to push yields. We've identified those dealers and growers and chosen to partner with those so that we can get this the new short corn system out there for growers to try. And so if you look at where we've come from 2023, 2024, and kind of where we're going with 2025, we were hoping to triple the acres and planning on tripling the acres from 2024 to 2025. We have a target goal of about 100,000 acres in 2025, and so looking forward, we're hoping to triple that every year. And so really looking forward to getting this technology in growers' hands so that we can have those high yield conversations and reduce the impact of any potential wind.
And that commercial launch maybe 3 or 4 years off, or?
Yeah, I think that's still yet to be determined. You can't go to a retail organization and just buy short corn right now, but we're hoping, as we continue with the launch for the biotech trait, get more products in the market, we can start having those conversations.
Well, Andrew, hey, some great stuff. Thanks for sharing some thoughts about Preceon corn. Thanks for taking some time for Real Agriculture and Commodity Classic.
Yeah, been a pleasure, Bernard. Appreciate it.